Lesson 1: Personalized Coding.
Excellent, you mentioned personalized code. Is there a limit to the number of items I can include in my custom code?
That's a great question. The number of items you can include in personalized code can vary depending on the platform or service you're using.
I see. So it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. Different providers may have different limits or capabilities.
Exactly. Some platforms may have strict limits, while others offer more flexibility when it comes to the complexity and number of elements in personalized code.
Interesting. What are some factors I should consider when thinking about the scope of my personalized code?
Well, things like the purpose of the code, the target audience, and the technical requirements of the platform would all be important to think about.
Good point. I wouldn't want to create something too complex that ends up being difficult to implement or maintain.
Absolutely. Striking the right balance between functionality and simplicity is key when designing personalized code.
Definitely. And I imagine the user experience is also a crucial consideration, right?
Absolutely. You want the personalized elements to enhance the user's experience, not create any frustration or confusion.
Exactly. It needs to feel seamless and add value, not introduce unnecessary complexity.
Exactly. Testing and getting feedback would be so important to ensure you nail that user-friendly experience.
Great advice. I'll definitely keep all of that in mind as I explore my options for personalized code.
Wonderful. And don't hesitate to reach out if you have any other questions. I'm happy to provide more guidance.
Fantastic, I appreciate that. This has been really helpful in getting me started on the right track.
I'm glad I could provide some useful insights. Personalized code can be so powerful when done well.
Absolutely. I'm excited to dive in and see what kind of customized solutions I can create.
Fantastic, I'm sure you'll come up with something really innovative and tailored to your needs.
Thanks, I'm looking forward to the process. Lots of potential for personalization here.
Definitely. It's an area with so much room for creativity and unique solutions.
Absolutely. Can't wait to get started. This has been a great discussion.
Lesson 2: The Feminine Mystique.
Hey Anna, did you know that women are considered the fairer sex?
Interesting, John. I hadn't thought about that phrase before. What do you make of the idea of women being the fairer sex?
Well, it's an old-fashioned term that suggests women are more delicate or refined than men.
I see. That seems a bit outdated and potentially problematic. After all, women are just as capable and strong as men.
You make a good point. Maybe a better way to think about it is that women often have a more feminine energy.
I see what you mean. Femininity is often associated with qualities like grace, empathy, and nurturing.
Exactly. And another word we could use instead of women is females.
Interesting. Females has a more clinical, scientific connotation compared to women. I wonder if that's the best term to use.
You raise a fair point. Women feels more humanizing and respectful. We should be mindful of our language choices.
Absolutely. The words we use can reveal a lot about our perceptions and biases. It's important to be thoughtful.
You're right. I appreciate you pushing me to examine my assumptions here. There's always more to learn.
Definitely. These types of conversations help us grow and become more aware of the nuances in how we communicate.
Definitely. I'm grateful we can have this open dialogue. It's making me think more deeply about gender and language.
Wonderful. I'm glad we could have this insightful discussion. There's such richness in exploring these topics together.
Agreed. It's been eye-opening. I appreciate you taking the time to engage with me on this.
Of course, I'm always happy to dive into thought-provoking conversations. There's so much to unpack when it comes to gender and language.
Absolutely. It's a complex and fascinating topic. I feel like I've gained some valuable new perspectives today.
Excellent, that's what I love to hear. These types of discussions are so important for personal growth and understanding.
Couldn't agree more. I'm glad we had the chance to explore this together. It's been a pleasure chatting with you.
Lesson 3, a hobby discovered.
Morning. I've been meaning to ask, what do you like to do for fun in your free time?
Well, I've recently discovered a new hobby that I've really been enjoying. It's quite unexpected, but I've been getting really into birdwatching.
Bird watching? That's fascinating. I wouldn't have pegged you as the birdwatching type. What sparked your interest in it?
It all started when I noticed this beautiful cardinal outside my window one day. I became captivated by its vibrant plumage and decided to learn more about the different bird species in my area.
That's really cool. I can see how that would be an enjoyable and rewarding hobby. What do you enjoy most about it?
I love the peaceful observation aspect of it, and how it gets me out in nature. Plus, I find it quite intellectually stimulating to try and identify the various birds I spot.
That makes total sense. It sounds like a great way to unwind and connect with the natural world. I may have to give it a try myself sometime.
You definitely should. I'd be happy to take you out on one of my birdwatching excursions. I can teach you how to use the field guide and binoculars.
That would be fantastic. I'm always open to trying new hobbies, especially ones that allow me to spend more time outdoors.
Wonderful, I think you'd really enjoy it. Who knows, you might just discover a new passion, like I did.
Well, if you ever change your mind and want a birdwatching partner, I'm your guy. This has piqued my curiosity for sure.
I'm so glad to hear that, John. I look forward to getting you out there and showing you the joys of birdwatching.
Likewise, it's been great chatting with you about this. I appreciate you sharing your newfound hobby with me.
The pleasure is all mine, John. I'm excited to potentially share this hobby with you. It's been a delightful conversation.
Absolutely. I'm grateful we had the chance to connect over this. It's been a wonderfully insightful discussion.
Lesson 4, Discussing Ambience.
Afternoon. I've been meaning to ask your opinion on something.
Certainly, John. What's on your mind?
Well, I've been thinking a lot about the importance of ambience when it comes to enjoying an experience, like going shopping or dining out.
That's an interesting topic. I agree that ambience can really make or break an outing. What aspects of ambience do you find most important?
For me, it's all about the atmosphere and overall vibe of a place. Things like the decor, lighting, music, and even the way the staff interacts with customers.
Absolutely, those elements definitely contribute to the overall feel and enjoyment of an experience. I find a sense of coziness and comfort to be particularly crucial.
Definitely. I much prefer a store or restaurant that has a warm, inviting ambience rather than one that feels cold and sterile.
Me too. And I love when a place has little touches that make it feel unique and memorable, like unique artwork or distinctive furnishings.
Yes, those personal, thoughtful details can really elevate the experience. It shows the owners have put care and consideration into crafting the environment.
Exactly. It makes you feel like you're somewhere special, not just another generic establishment. The ambience is what transforms a simple transaction into an enjoyable occasion.
Couldn't agree more. That sense of atmosphere and attention to detail is so important, especially these days when we have endless options for where to spend our time and money.
Definitely. The ambience can really be the X factor that draws me to one business over another, even if the core offerings are similar.
Agreed. I think a lot of businesses underestimate the power of creating a compelling, memorable ambience. It's a real differentiator.
Absolutely. It's an area I think more businesses should invest in to enhance the overall customer experience. The right ambience can be a game changer.
Couldn't have said it better myself. This has been a great discussion on the importance of ambience. Lots of food for thought.
Likewise, John. I'm glad we got to explore this topic, it's one I'm quite passionate about. Lots of valuable insights shared.
Likewise, I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me about this. It's been a delightful exchange.
Lesson 5, Discussing Recipe Modifications.
Morning. I could use your advice on a recipe I'm trying.
Hello, John. I'd be happy to help. What's the recipe?
It's for a pasta dish, but I'm thinking of making a few tweaks to the ingredients.
Interesting. What changes were you considering?
Well, the recipe calls for basil, but I was thinking of using fresh parsley instead. Do you think that would work?
Parsley could work nicely as a substitute. It would give a different flavor profile, but still complement the pasta well.
That's what I was thinking. I love the brightness that parsley can add.
Definitely. And parsley is quite versatile, it could pair well with the other components of the dish.
Exactly. I was also considering adding a bit more garlic. Do you think that would be an improvement?
Ooh, extra garlic is always a win in my book. It would really amp up the savory notes.
That's what I was hoping. I'm a big garlic fan, so I tend to be a bit heavy-handed with it.
No complaints here. Garlic makes everything better in my opinion. As long as it's not overpowering, I think that would be a great addition.
Good to know. I'll be sure to not go overboard, but a nice robust garlic flavor will be perfect.
Absolutely. Those two substitutions, parsley instead of basil, and a bit more garlic, could really elevate the dish.
Awesome, I'm excited to give it a try. Thanks for the input. I always value your culinary expertise.
Happy to help, John. Modifying recipes is an art, but I think those changes will work beautifully. Let me know how it turns out.
Will do. I'll be sure to give you a full report after I've cooked it up. Appreciate you taking the time to chat through this with me.
Of course, I enjoy discussing food and recipes. It's one of my favorite topics. I look forward to hearing how your tweaked version turns out.
Wonderful. I'm sure it will be delicious. Alright, I'd better get started on prep. Thanks again.
Lesson 6: Exploring breakfast menu options.
Morning. I'm trying to decide what to have for breakfast. Any recommendations?
Hello, John. Well, there are so many delicious breakfast options these days. What are you in the mood for?
That's a great question. I'm feeling a bit indecisive. Maybe you can give me a rundown of some of the better menu items?
Absolutely. Well, our breakfast menu has everything from classic eggs and bacon to more unique offerings.
Interesting. What would you suggest for something a little out of the ordinary?
How about the avocado toast? It's become quite a trendy breakfast item, and it's super tasty.
Avocado toast, huh? I don't think I've tried that before. What makes it so special?
The combination of the creamy avocado, tangy sourdough bread, and seasonings is really delightful. It's a great way to start the day.
You've definitely piqued my interest. Anything else that jumps out on the menu?
Well, the breakfast burrito is always a hearty and flavorful choice. Stuffed with eggs, veggies, cheese, and salsa, it's a real flavor explosion.
Ooh, that does sound tasty. I do love a good breakfast burrito.
Absolutely. And if you're in more of a sweet mood, the banana pancakes are out of this world.
Banana pancakes, huh? That could hit the spot. I do have a bit of a sweet tooth in the morning.
Then I'd highly recommend giving those a try. They're fluffy, packed with fresh banana, and drizzled in a sweet maple syrup.
Alright, you've sold me. I think I'll go for the avocado toast and the banana pancakes. Can't wait to dig in.
Excellent choices, John. I think you're going to love both. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, so you deserve to indulge a bit.
I couldn't agree more. Thanks for the fantastic recommendations. I'm already looking forward to my meal.
My pleasure. Enjoy your breakfast, and let me know what you think of the avocado toast and pancakes.
Will do. I'm sure they'll be delicious. Alright, I'd better get in there before everything is gone. Catch you later.
Lesson 7: Coordinating an afternoon meetup.
Afternoon. I was wondering if you'd be free to grab a coffee or tea later today?
Hello, John. That sounds lovely. What time were you thinking of meeting up?
Well, I'm flexible. How does around 2 p.m. work for you?
2 p.m. works perfectly for me. Shall we meet at the usual spot downtown?
Sounds good to me. That cafe has such a nice, cozy atmosphere.
I agree, it's one of my favorite places to unwind. Shall we say 2 o'clock then?
Absolutely. Should we bring anything with us? I'm happy to pick up some pastries or snacks.
That's so thoughtful of you. If you don't mind, some scones or muffins would be a nice accompaniment.
Great idea. I'll swing by the bakery on my way and grab a selection. Anything specific you're in the mood for?
Maybe a couple of blueberry scones and some chocolate chip muffins? That sounds like the perfect afternoon treat.
Blueberry scones and chocolate chip muffins, got it. I'll make sure to get plenty so we can indulge.
Wonderful. I can't wait. This is going to be a lovely way to spend the afternoon.
Me neither. It will be great to catch up and enjoy some good conversation over coffee and treats.
Definitely. I've been looking forward to our little meetup. See you in a bit, John.
Sounds good. I'll head out shortly and see you at the cafe around 2 o'clock. Until then.
Lesson 8: Discussing an early morning commute.
Morning. I noticed you arrived at the office earlier than usual today.
Ah, yes, I did leave home a bit earlier this morning. I had to run a few errands before coming in.
I see. What time did you end up heading out? I usually try to leave around 8:30 myself.
Well, I actually left around 8 o'clock. With the light traffic, it wasn't too bad of a commute.
8 o'clock, huh? That's pretty early. Did you have a lot to get done before the workday started?
Not too much, really. I just wanted to get a head start on some tasks and avoid the heavier rush hour congestion.
Ah, I can understand that. The roads can get pretty backed up during peak commute times.
Exactly. I find that leaving a bit earlier helps me arrive more relaxed and ready to tackle the day.
That's a good strategy. I'll have to try it myself sometime and see if it makes a difference.
I definitely recommend it. The earlier start can be worth it to have a smoother, less stressful drive in.
Good to know. Maybe I'll experiment with leaving 15 to 20 minutes earlier tomorrow and see how it goes.
Sounds like a plan. I'm curious to hear how it works out for you. Let me know what you think.
Will do. I appreciate you sharing your experience. It's given me some food for thought on optimizing my own commute.
Anytime, John. I'm always happy to swap tips and strategies, especially when it comes to making the workday run more smoothly.
Excellent. Well, I should get back to it. But I'll be sure to report back on how the early departure goes tomorrow.
Lesson 9, Discussing a Delivery Timeline.
Afternoon. Do you have a moment to discuss an upcoming project delivery?
Certainly, John. What's on your mind?
Well, I've been reviewing the timeline for the Jones account, and I'm a bit concerned about the delivery deadline.
Oh? What seems to be the issue with the timeline? I thought we were on track to meet the client's expectations.
That's the thing, the timeline seems quite tight. I'm worried we may have underestimated the amount of work involved.
I see. Have you identified any specific areas of concern that could impact the delivery?
Yes, a few things. The design phase is taking longer than anticipated, and we're still waiting on some key approvals from the client.
That's not ideal. Have you communicated these concerns to the client yet?
Not directly, no. I wanted to gather all the information first before bringing it to their attention.
Okay, that makes sense. What do you think would be the best approach to address this with the client?
Well, I was thinking we could propose a slight extension to the timeline, but I wanted to get your input first.
That could work. We'll need to be proactive and transparent with the client about the challenges we're facing.
Exactly. I don't want to blindside them, but I also don't want to promise something we can't deliver.
Understood. Let's schedule a call with the client and walk through the timeline, outlining the specific areas of concern.
Great idea. I'll put together a summary and we can present it together. Their feedback will be crucial.
Sounds like a plan. I'm happy to collaborate on this and ensure we set realistic expectations with the client.
Excellent. I appreciate you taking the time to discuss this with me. It's helpful to get your perspective.
Of course, John. That's what teammates are for. Let me know how I can further assist with this project.
Will do. I'll keep you posted on the client conversation and next steps.
Sounds good. I'm confident we can work through this and deliver a great result for the client.
Agreed. Thanks again. Let's touch base soon.
Lesson 10: Exploring Ireland's Economic Potential.
Greetings. I was wondering if you have any thoughts on Ireland's economic outlook.
That's an interesting topic, John. What aspects of Ireland's economy are you curious about?
Well, I've been reading that Ireland is looking to become prosperous again by tapping into its agricultural and beverage industries.
Yes, that's a great observation. Ireland has a rich history of producing high-quality agricultural goods and alcoholic beverages.
Exactly. I understand they're hoping to sell more of their products, like Irish beer and whiskey, to the European common market.
Absolutely. Ireland is known for its exceptional dairy, meat, and produce, as well as its world-renowned whiskies and stouts.
That's fascinating. Do you think they have a good chance of boosting their exports and reviving their economy?
I believe so. Ireland has some distinct advantages, like its temperate climate, fertile soil, and skilled agricultural workforce.
And the demand for premium European food and drink products is quite high, isn't it?
Definitely. There's a growing appreciation for authentic, artisanal goods across the continent.
That's great news for Ireland. What do you think are some of the challenges they might face in expanding their exports?
Well, they'll need to ensure consistent quality and supply, navigate any trade barriers or regulations, and possibly invest in marketing and distribution.
Good points. Ireland will have to be strategic and adaptable to capitalize on this opportunity.
Absolutely. But with their rich natural resources and proud culinary traditions, I'm optimistic Ireland can become a thriving exporter once again.
I share your optimism. It would be wonderful to see Ireland's economy rebound through its world-class agricultural and beverage sectors.
I agree, John. It's an exciting prospect, and I'll be keeping a close eye on Ireland's progress in the years to come.
Same here. Thanks for the insightful discussion. It's given me a better understanding of Ireland's economic potential.
Lesson 11: Charting a Course for Global Expansion.
Morning. I've been thinking about our global expansion plans and wanted to get your thoughts.
Excellent, John. I'm always eager to discuss our company's growth strategy. What's on your mind?
Well, we've seen tremendous success in our domestic market, but I believe the time is right to start exploring international opportunities.
I agree. Expanding our reach globally could unlock significant new avenues for revenue and market share.
Exactly. Do you have any particular regions or countries that you think we should focus on first?
That's a great question. Based on my research, I believe emerging markets in Asia and South America hold a lot of promise.
Interesting. What makes those regions attractive for our business model?
Well, they have rapidly growing middle classes with increasing purchasing power and a rising demand for the types of products and services we offer.
Good point. And what about the logistical and regulatory challenges of operating in those markets?
That's a valid concern. We'd need to carefully navigate customs, trade agreements, and local business practices.
Absolutely. We'd have to invest in establishing the right infrastructure and partnerships to ensure a smooth expansion.
Definitely. But I'm confident that with the right strategic planning and execution, we can overcome those hurdles.
I share your optimism. Do you have any specific recommendations on how we should approach this global expansion?
I would suggest starting with a thorough market analysis to identify our best opportunities. Then we can develop a phased rollout strategy.
That sounds like a solid approach. We'll need to allocate the necessary resources and talent to make it happen.
Agreed. This will be a significant undertaking, but the potential rewards for our business are immense.
I couldn't agree more. I'm excited to dive deeper into this and start charting our course for global domination.
Lesson 12: The importance of etiquette.
Hey, I've noticed that these days, good manners and etiquette don't seem to be as valued as they once were. What are your thoughts on that?
That's an interesting observation, John. I agree that there does seem to be a shift in societal attitudes towards etiquette.
Exactly. It almost feels like people think etiquette is just a bunch of outdated rules that don't really matter anymore.
I can understand that perspective, but I actually believe that etiquette is more important than ever in our modern, fast-paced world.
Really? How so? Isn't etiquette just about things like which fork to use or how to hold a teacup?
Not at all. Etiquette is about much more than just table manners. It's about treating others with respect and making them feel valued.
Huh, I never really thought about it that way. Can you give me some examples of how etiquette can do that?
Sure. Simple things like holding the door open for someone, or sending a thank you note after receiving a gift, can go a long way in making people feel appreciated.
I see what you mean. And I suppose good etiquette helps create a more civil and harmonious society, right?
Exactly. Etiquette isn't just about rules, it's about fostering empathy and consideration for others. It's a way of making the world a little bit better.
That's a really interesting perspective. I guess I've been thinking about etiquette all wrong. Maybe I need to do a bit more research on the subject.
I think that's a great idea, John. Etiquette is a fascinating topic, and there's a lot more to it than most people realize.
Definitely. Thanks for opening my eyes to the importance of etiquette. I'm glad we had this conversation.
Lesson 13, Tackling Overwhelm.
Hey, can I ask you for some advice? I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed lately and I don't know how to handle it.
Absolutely, John. I'm happy to listen and see if I can offer any suggestions that might help.
Well, it's just that I've got so much on my plate, both at work and in my personal life, and I'm starting to feel like I'm drowning.
I understand how that can feel. Having a lot of responsibilities and demands on your time can be really stressful.
Exactly. I'm just constantly running from one thing to the next, and it's starting to take a toll on me.
Okay, well, let's try to break this down and see if we can come up with a plan to help you feel more in control.
That would be great. I'm just not sure where to start.
Well, the first thing I would suggest is to take a step back and make a list of all the things you need to get done.
Okay, that makes sense. I guess writing it all down might help me see it more clearly.
Absolutely. And then once you have that list, try to prioritize the tasks and tackle them one at a time.
That's a good idea. I tend to try to do everything at once, and that's probably just making me more overwhelmed.
Exactly. Take it one step at a time, and don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it.
Yeah, I definitely need to get better at delegating and not trying to do everything myself.
Absolutely. And remember to take care of yourself too. Make sure you're taking breaks, getting enough sleep, and doing things that help you recharge.
You're right, I've been neglecting that part. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk this through with me.
Lesson 14, Flexibility and Fitness.
Hey, I've noticed you've been looking really fit lately. What have you been doing to stay in shape?
Thanks, John. I've actually been incorporating more yoga into my daily routine, and I'm feeling so much more flexible as a result.
Really? That's awesome. I've been meaning to try yoga, but I'm a little intimidated by it.
Don't be. Yoga is actually a great way to improve your flexibility and overall fitness, even if you're a beginner.
Yeah? Well, maybe you could show me a few beginner friendly poses sometime. I'd love to give it a try.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to help you get started. Yoga is all about going at your own pace and listening to your body.
That's good to hear. I always feel like I need to push myself too hard at the gym, and then I end up sore and discouraged.
Yoga is different. It's about finding balance and being gentle with yourself. The key is to focus on your breathing and the present moment.
That sounds really appealing, actually. I feel like I could use a little more balance and mindfulness in my life.
Exactly. Yoga is a great way to cultivate that. And the best part is, you can do it anywhere, even in the comfort of your own home.
That's true. I don't have much of an excuse not to try it, do I?
Nope, no excuses. I'm happy to share some beginner-friendly yoga routines with you whenever you're ready.
Awesome, I really appreciate that. I'm looking forward to giving it a try and seeing if it helps me feel more flexible and balanced.
Lesson 15, Celebrating Achievements.
Congratulations! I heard you successfully launched a new product line at work. That's amazing.
Thank you, John. I'm so thrilled about it. It's been a lot of hard work, but it's incredibly rewarding to see it all come together.
I can imagine. Launching a new product must be a huge accomplishment. What was the process like?
It was quite a journey, to be honest. There were a lot of challenges along the way, but my team really pulled together to make it happen.
That's fantastic. It's great when you have a strong team to support you through the tough times.
Absolutely. I'm so proud of my team and the way they've stepped up. We really worked well together to bring this project to life.
Well, you should be proud of yourself too. Launching a new product line is no small feat. What's the best part about it for you?
The best part is seeing the positive response from our customers. It's so gratifying to know that our hard work is paying off and making a difference.
I bet that feels incredible. Knowing that your efforts are being appreciated and making an impact must be really fulfilling.
It really is. It's a great reminder of why I do what I do and the importance of pushing through the challenges.
That's so inspiring. I'm sure your success is going to open up even more opportunities for you and your team.
I certainly hope so. We're already brainstorming ideas for the next product line. The momentum is really exciting.
That's awesome. I'm really happy for you. Your determination and hard work are clearly paying off in a big way.
Thank you, John. I appreciate your support. It's been a journey, but I'm grateful for every step along the way.
Well, I'm sure this is just the beginning. Wishing you continued success with your future ventures.
Lesson 16, Planning the Perfect Getaway.
Alright, let's finalize our travel plans for the weekend. We're staying for 3 nights, right?
Absolutely, John. I'm so excited for our little getaway. Have you looked into any activities or sightseeing options?
I've been doing some research, and I think I've found a few really cool things we can do. What kind of experiences are you interested in?
Well, I'd love to explore the local food scene and try some authentic regional cuisine. And maybe we could fit in a hike or two, if the weather cooperates.
Sounds perfect. I found this highly rated farm-to-table restaurant that serves traditional dishes with a modern twist. And there's a scenic trail overlooking the coastline that I think you'd really enjoy.
Ooh, that sounds right up my alley. And maybe we could fit in a visit to that artisanal market I read about, pick up some local goods to bring home.
Great idea. I'll make sure to pencil that in. And I was thinking we could allocate one afternoon for just relaxing by the beach or at the hotel pool, to really unwind.
That sounds like the ideal balance, a mix of activities and downtime. I can't wait to just disconnect and soak up the peaceful atmosphere.
Me neither. This trip is exactly what we need to recharge and escape the hustle and bustle of our daily lives.
Absolutely. I feel like we've put together the perfect itinerary. Now we just have to make sure we pack everything we need.
No problem. I'll send you a comprehensive packing list to make sure we don't forget anything important.
Wonderful. I really appreciate you taking the lead on all the planning. It's going to be such a wonderful weekend getaway.
I'm happy to do it. I know you've been working so hard lately, and you deserve this little break. Can't wait to make some great memories with you.
Lesson 17, The Artful Debate.
I've been meaning to ask you, what's your preferred medium for sketching?
That's a great question, John. I'm definitely more of a pencil person myself. There's just something so satisfying about the flow of a good quality graphite pencil.
Interesting. I've always been more of a pen and ink kind of guy, myself. There's just something so crisp and defined about it?
I can see the appeal, but I find pencils allow for a softer, more organic feel. Plus, you can't beat the ease of blending and shading with a pencil.
That's a fair point. Blending and shading are definitely easier with pencils. But I just love the way ink lays down on the page, it has such a bold, confident quality.
I can understand that perspective. Though I'd argue that pencils allow for a more nuanced and expressive line quality. You can really capture the essence of your subject.
You make a compelling case. I suppose it comes down to personal preference and the artistic vision you're trying to achieve.
Exactly. There's no one-size-fits-all solution when it comes to artistic mediums. It's all about finding what resonates with you and your style.
Well said. I guess I'll have to try my hand at some pencil sketching and see if I can't be swayed over to the dark side.
Haha, dark side? I'll take that as a compliment. And I'd be more than happy to offer some tips and tricks if you'd like to give pencils a try.
I'd appreciate that. I'm always open to expanding my artistic horizons. Who knows, maybe I'll become a convert.
Wonderful. I look forward to seeing what you come up with. This could be the start of a whole new creative journey for you.
I'm certainly excited to explore it. Thanks for the inspiration. You've definitely got me intrigued by the pencil side of things.
Lesson 18, Breaking Barriers.
Morning. Have you heard about the groundbreaking achievements of Billie Jean King?
Absolutely, John. Billie Jean King is a true pioneer in women's sports and equality.
Indeed. She was a champion on the tennis court and a trailblazer off of it.
Exactly. She fought tirelessly for the creation of the Women's Tennis Association, ensuring fair pay and recognition for female athletes.
Absolutely. And her historic victory over Bobby Riggs in the Battle of the Sexes match was a pivotal moment in the fight for gender equality.
Definitely. That match not only showcased her incredible talent, but also her unwavering determination to prove the capabilities of female athletes.
Absolutely. And her advocacy didn't stop there. She was instrumental in the passage of Title IX, the landmark legislation that aimed to provide equal opportunities for women in education and sports.
You're right, John. Billie Jean King used her platform to champion the cause of gender equity, paving the way for future generations of female athletes and leaders.
Precisely. Her legacy continues to inspire and empower women and girls around the world to pursue their dreams and shatter glass ceilings.
Absolutely. Billie Jean King's impact extends far beyond the tennis court, and she will be remembered as a true icon of the women's rights movement.
Well said. Billie Jean King's remarkable achievements and tireless advocacy for equality have left an indelible mark on history.
Lesson 19, A Farmyard Adventure.
Hey, I heard you visited your uncle's farm recently. How was it?
It was absolutely wonderful, John. There were so many interesting animals to see and interact with.
Oh, really? What kind of animals did you come across on the farm?
Well, let's see. There were the usual suspects, like sheep, cows, and chickens, but there were also some more unexpected creatures.
Ooh, like what? I'm intrigued.
For one, there were these adorable, fluffy sheep dogs that would herd the sheep around the pasture. It was mesmerizing to watch.
Wow, sheepdogs. That must have been quite a sight. Did you get to interact with them at all?
Absolutely. They were so friendly and playful. I even tried my hand at herding the sheep, under the watchful eye of the dogs, of course.
That sounds like quite an experience. Did you encounter any other unique animals on the farm?
Yes, actually. My uncle has a small enclosure where he keeps a couple of friendly wolves.
Wolves? On a farm? Isn't that a bit dangerous?
Not at all. These wolves were raised by my uncle since they were pups, and they're incredibly tame and docile. I even got to pet one of them.
That's incredible. I never would have imagined wolves living on a farm like that. It sounds like you had quite the adventurous visit.
It was truly a remarkable experience, John. The farm was a veritable treasure trove of fascinating animals and unique sights. I can't wait to go back.
It certainly sounds like it. Your uncle's farm sounds like a wonderland for animal lovers. Maybe I'll have to tag along next time you visit.
Lesson 20, A Bountiful Feast.
Yo, I heard you attended a really cool event recently. Tell me more about it.
Oh, you mean the traditional Native American feast I went to? It was an amazing experience.
A Native American feast, huh? That sounds fascinating. What was it like?
It was held to celebrate the end of the harvest season. The whole community came together to feast on all sorts of traditional foods.
That's awesome. What kinds of foods did they serve at this feast?
Well, the main dishes were deer meat and various types of fish that had been caught locally.
Deer meat and fish, huh? That sounds like quite a hearty meal. How did they prepare all of that?
They had been cooking and preparing the food for days leading up to the event. The feast lasted for 3 full days.
3 days? That's one epic celebration. I can't even imagine the amount of food they must have had.
Exactly. And when they started to run low on provisions, the men of the tribe would go out and hunt for more birds and other game.
Wow, that's dedication. They really went all out to make sure everyone was well fed and satisfied.
Absolutely. The whole experience was so immersive and authentic. I felt like I had been transported back in time.
That's so cool that you got to be a part of something so rich in cultural tradition. I'm honestly a little jealous.
You should come with me next time, John. I'm sure you'd have an amazing time and learn so much about their way of life.
You know what, I just might take you up on that offer. A 3 day feast sounds right up my alley.
Lesson 21, A Heroic Legacy.
Greetings. Have you heard about the remarkable life of Martin Luther King Jr.?
Why, yes, John. He was truly an extraordinary individual who dedicated his life to the pursuit of justice and equality.
Absolutely. His unwavering commitment to the civil rights movement and his tireless efforts to fight against racial discrimination are truly inspiring.
I agree wholeheartedly. He stood up for the rights of his fellow human beings, even in the face of immense adversity and personal risk.
Indeed. And it's incredibly saddening that he ultimately paid the ultimate price for his noble cause, but his legacy lives on.
Undoubtedly. His I Have a Dream speech is considered one of the most powerful and impactful addresses in history.
Absolutely. The way he eloquently articulated his vision for a more just and equitable society is truly awe-inspiring.
Absolutely. He had an incredible ability to inspire and galvanize people through his words and his actions.
You're right. His leadership and his unwavering commitment to nonviolent resistance were pivotal in advancing the civil rights movement.
Absolutely. He was a true trailblazer, and his influence continues to shape the ongoing struggle for social justice and equality.
Well said. Martin Luther King Jr.'s life and legacy serve as a shining example of the power of courage, compassion, and unwavering dedication to a cause greater than oneself.